Last night's win was one that had a game-winning home run in the 6th inning and Masataka Yoshida, of all people, throwing out a guy at home. But what if I told you that neither of those plays was the most important of the game? In fact, I believe the most important play of the game came in the bottom of the 2nd inning on a routine ground ball to second base. The Red Sox win last night's game 3-1. Was there a lot of offense? No. But as we've seen throughout the entire month of May, the Red Sox don't beat their opponent by outslugging them. They beat them by preventing them from scoring runs. So, we'll start off with a walkthrough of the game. The Red Sox, as usual, don't do anything, don't score at all in the 1st inning. However, Sonny Gray, who's on the mound for the Red Sox, who has pitched very well this whole season, especially since coming back from injury, did his thing in the bottom of the 1st, retiring the batters 1, 2, 3. We then go to the bottom of the 2nd inning, when the Red Sox get into a little bit of trouble. It doesn't start off good, as Sonny Gray hits Salvador Perez, with a pitch, and strikes out the next guy, but then Jack Caglione, powerful left-handed batter for the Royals, rocks one to right field for a double. It's now 2nd and 3rd with just 1 out. And the reason why I think this is the most important moment of the game, the most important situation of the game, which then leads to the most important play of the game, more important than Masataka Yoshida throwing Michael Massey out at home plate in the 4th inning, and more important than Contreras' home run later in the game, is because the Red Sox, when they trail by 2 runs at all during a game in a season, are 1-13. They are also 0-18 when they trail by 3 or more runs. And more importantly, the Red Sox are just 4-20 when the opponent scores first. So this 2nd inning is a very good setup for how we think this game is going to go. And it's 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. So a big-time situation for Sonny Gray. He then faces Collins, strikes him out. And then he faces Michael Massey in the 2nd inning. 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs. If Michael Massey gets a hit here, you might as well consider this game a loss. However, he gets him to ground out to end the inning. Sonny Gray continues to pitch well, allowing no runs throughout the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th innings. And Sonny Gray would indeed end up pitching 6 shutout, which is always a good sign for this team, because when a starter goes at least 6 innings, it is almost a guaranteed win. And if they don't, it's almost a guaranteed loss. So we go to the top of the 6th inning. Top of the 6th inning, because is the first time we actually see some runs being scored for the Boston Red Sox. Again, scoreless throughout the first 5 innings. Not too many chances to score. But then Willson Contreras comes up, and he crushes a 2-run homer into left center field to give the Red Sox a 2-0 lead that they would not relinquish. Again, Willson Contreras, in the last 2 wins for the Red Sox, has hit the game-winning home run. So, as of late, he has been coming in clutch, as going into Game 2 of the Red Sox 3-2 win against the Braves, he had been in a bit of a slump. But he hits his 10th home run of the season to give the Red Sox a 2-0 lead, which, again, I don't think that happens if the Red Sox go down early in the bottom of the 2nd, because time and time again, when this team goes down early, it almost seems like they start pressing. It almost seems like they just feel like they're going to lose, and the offense becomes even more anemic than it usually is, and it usually leads to a loss. I'm not even sure if that play with Yoshida throwing a guy out at home, which, again, I am shocked happened, would have happened there. I feel like what would have most likely happened is, say, Michael Massey singles, drives in 2 runs to give the Royals a 2-0 lead. It would just be a snowball effect from there. And that single in the 4th inning would lead to another run scored from the Royals instead of Masataka Yoshida throwing a guy out. Because again, the play before in that 4th inning was a double because Yoshida has no range. It was a ball hit into the left, in between left and right field. Both Duran and Yoshida were going for it. Yoshida tried to make a play on it, but it went off his glove because, again, he can't move. That led to a double. So again, I'm really trying to emphasize how important keeping that 2nd inning scoreless was for Gray. So again, Contreras hits a home run, gives the Red Sox a 2-0 lead. Gray gets it done in the bottom of the 6th and retires them 1-2-3. So as I mentioned before, it's definitely a winning setup right now. The Red Sox have a lead. They score first on a big home run, and more importantly, their starting pitcher does well, and they have a lead of 2 or 3 runs going into the late innings for the top 3 guys in that bullpen. But again, the Red Sox weren't done in the 6th inning. In the top of the 7th, Wong led off with a double, Connor Wong. Then Nick Sogard, who has been starting at third base in place of Caleb Durbin, who has just struggled mightily, gets a bunt single. He lays down an excellent bunt, and it's first and third with nobody out for Jarren Duran. Jarren Duran, he has been struggling mightily, and does he get a hit here? No, but he is able to convert with a runner on third and less than 2 out and hit a sacrifice fly to give the Red Sox a 3-0 lead. And then, looked like the Red Sox would get more, as Mickey Gasper would get technically his second hit of the game. However, if you watch, it looked a lot more like an error, but as Lou Merlone said on the broadcast last night, seemingly everything's a hit now. So, Mickey Gasper with his second knock of the game, that moves Nick Sogard to third. However, and that would set up Willy Abreu, first and third, 1 out. Can the Red Sox get more? Unfortunately, they cannot. Willy Abreu has a tough day at the plate, he going 0 for 5 and strikes out in that situation, and then Wilson Contreras grounds out to third. But look, the one nice thing about having good pitching is just about any lead of multiple runs in the late innings is usually enough, whether it's 2 runs or 3 runs or just 1 run, because in the bottom of the 7th inning, with a 3-0 lead, Justin Slayton does give up a run as Sonny Gray started it, but allowed a leadoff double, and then Justin Slayton would allow a run there coming in. But again, the Red Sox were up 3-0. They're still up 3-1. A 3-1 lead with Garrett Whitlock and Aroldis Chapman, again, should be a win. And it ends up being a win as Garrett Whitlock faces just 4 batters and pitches a scoreless 8th. And Aroldis Chapman, who really has just been automatic all season long, shuts the door down, and the Red Sox win it 3-1. Just about as run-of-the-mill of a win for the Red Sox as you can get, especially in the month of May. Good enough hitting, sort of, in big situations. Great pitching, and it leads to a low-scoring 3-1 win. This is actually the Red Sox' third 3-1 win of the month of May, and it's also the 4th win of the month of May in which the Red Sox have scored 3 runs or fewer, but have still won by multiple runs. As if you want to do that math, it includes the Red Sox 2-0 win. So again, a lot of wins like this month, just about as run-of-the-mill, standard of a Red Sox win as it gets. And just going through the general numbers for the Red Sox did have 9 hits, struck out 8 times. Again, they've been making contact just a lot if it's weak. So more hits than strikeouts, it's always a good sign. And then, in fact, an interesting thing is every single Red Sox starter in the lineup did have a hit except for Willy Abreu and Jarren Duran, but just about all those guys had only had 1 hit. 2 guys had multiple hits with Andrew Monasterio and Mickey Gasper, but again, you could argue that should have been an error. So an okay, fine enough day for the offense, great day for the pitching. Red Sox win it. The Red Sox will be back at it tonight at 7:40 p.m., hopefully. It will be Ranger Suarez getting the bump for the Red Sox. Pitched very well in his last appearance coming back from injury, but since it was less than 6 innings, the Red Sox unfortunately lost because that seemingly is automatic. But let's hope that Ranger Suarez can give a bit more length since this is his second start back from injury. The Red Sox will be facing Bailey Falter, but again, Suarez has looked great all season. The Red Sox, let's see if the Red Sox can get this game and get their first series win in way too long. Talk to you guys tomorrow.